I'm here with Gemma from the Organised Mum blog and website, and I'm here to talk to her today about a project that she did just before Christmas called Project Pick Me Up. Anyway, I am going to get Gemma to tell you a little bit about what Project Pick Me Up was, and then we're going to have a little bit of a chat about how that all panned out. So
Project Pick Me Up started when it was about 6 weeks before Christmas. I was really tired. I'd been really poorly. Everyone in the house had been really poorly. And I just felt really run down. And I thought, this has to stop. I'd got into a pattern of just getting up in the morning and not really doing anything apart from looking after the kids. So I thought, what better Christmas present to give myself than to actually get myself back in the habit of looking after myself mentally and physically. So I came up with the idea of doing 3 things each day. So that was to do something emotionally and that would look after myself emotionally, like read a book or have a bath, nourish myself through food, drinking enough water. It wasn't a diet thing. I was very clear on that. I just wanted to eat healthily, eat the right food and drink enough water.
I'm so bad at that.
And get enough sleep.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then also getting out of the house and doing some sort of physical activity, whether it be a walk, going for a swim, just to, blow the cobwebs off, basically. So I pledged to do those 3 things every day for 6 weeks.
Of the 3 things that you did, which was the hardest one to stick to, do you think?
The hardest thing by far was to find time to do the things like having a bath or reading a book. And it wasn't until week 4, so well over halfway into this 6-week project, that I realised that whenever I tried to do something for myself, I would get this immense sense of guilt that would then make me really anxious and try to complete that task. And I looked upon it as a task as quickly as possible. So that was the hardest thing, changing that mindset. And it took me a long time, ironically, in the bath, thinking about it, and that I realised that it was because I've got an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. So for well over a decade, I have trained my brain to put my kids first, which you do naturally as a parent. And therefore I was always bottom of the list. And that's just how I've become accustomed to live.
So when you got to week 6, how did you feel like it had made a difference? It definitely. It was that realisation in week 4 that was really the big one. It was like a light bulb had just gone in my head, and I had previously, in the 2 or 3 weeks up to that, I'd changed my hair colour completely. Right, I've had about 4 or 5 different hairstyles in 6 months. I was obviously going through some sort of, obviously, because that's why I needed to do Project Pick Me Up. I needed something like this, and I'd been to Boots and I'd bored the poor lady at the number 7 counter to death. We'd tried every single shade of lipstick, and it was week 4, and I was like, no, it's not about that. It's about knowing that I am looking after myself, and that's been the one thing that has definitely changed. And I definitely feel much less guilty now about spending an extra 5 minutes conditioning my hair in the shower. I mean, a lot of my clients are brand new parents, so their babies are tiny and vulnerable and need all of that. You can't always have that time, but I'm sure there are things from Project Pick Me Up that they can take away. I mean, not necessarily the sleep, sadly.
No.
But things like making sure that you eat well.
Yes, absolutely. Hydration.
And drinking enough water. And getting out and about, outside.
Getting outside. And that's another thing as well. I started running again. I mean, obviously, not everyone's a runner. I am not a natural runner.
Yeah, me either.
Like Phoebe from Friends when I'm running. But it was that getting out of the house absolutely lifted my mood, even if it was just for 15, 20 minutes. When you become a new parent as well, you start to do things really fast because you've got a newborn that has very immediate needs and that can go from being fast asleep to wailing. And that is really, really stressful. So you start living your life at a much faster pace, and just to be aware of that and acknowledge that that might be happening, and just to make sure you don't live your life
at 101 miles an hour all the time because it's really stressful.
Excellent. So have you got any other advice about keeping and staying as positive as possible?
Yes. Don't do something just because you think you should. So don't try and do something just, wear something or do a certain activity because everyone else is doing it and everyone says it's fantastic. No one knows yourself like you do, and just follow your instincts, because they will always lead. They might take you on a a bit of a meander.
A Miranda.
They might take you on a bit of a meander to the end result, but they usually tend to get you there in the end.
Brilliant. That's perfect. Thank you, Gemma.
You're welcome.